Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for this video on Umamusume, we're going to talk a little bit about the career mode in the game, which is ultimately how you build up your Umas that you will be utilizing in the race mode. It is the core gameplay loop that you're going to be doing a lot of times. And so the big thing we're going to talk about with it is how you kind of go about deciding which Uma you want to use, what cards you want to use, kind of the decisions you're going to want to be making in the career mode, and how you can ultimately win the championship over the course of a career. I've won a few of them now at this point, as I've been kind of messing around with it in careers, as I've been live streaming it. And so I've got a general idea of the mechanics down. Now, this is not going to be getting into depth on like the math and the core, like min-maxing on the decisions. This is just going to give you a general overview of how you want to approach making these decisions and give you a good guideline of how you can figure out what needs to be done based on whatever Uma you might want to use or what cards you currently have available. So the first thing is we'll get into the career mode here, and you'll have the scenario that pops up. So if you're watching this way in the future, there could potentially be, there will be more scenarios just than just this first one. Down the line, more will be added that'll kind of shake up the meta, shake up what cards are going to be the better ones for that cards, because you're going to have different track setups and all that. But right now, currently at the recording of this video, we only have the URA final. That is the only scenario available. We'll go ahead and select that one. And so this is the point where you have to pick which Uma you want to race with. And there's a couple things I've been looking at to really try and fine-tune how I want to train the Uma. So there's a couple things you first want to look. So we'll take a look at Gold Ship here, for example. The first thing is you want to see what they are really good at. So the track, you have turf and dirt type tracks, distance, where they're going to race within the race. Do you want them to be, or where, how long the race is. So you have your sprints, miles, medium, and long. So that's just how long the race lasts. And then you have the style, whether they are like a person that just tries to get in the front and stay in the front, which is that one. Pace, which means they stay right behind the people in first place, second place, and then right at the end, they burst past them to take the win. And you kind of have a similar thing with late and end, except they conserve their stamina to a general extent, and at the very end, they just burst super fast, massive acceleration, and take off and take the win by passing everybody at the very end. And that's just the general concept of these different styles they have here. And so that's the first thing you want to look at. What are they good at? So you can kind of see with Gold Ship here, she's good at turf. She's good at medium and long races. And she likes to be at the end the most, but she can do late and pace. And so all those kind of have different ways on how you want to build her. And what I generally like to do is focus on a specific one when it comes to building them. And the other last part you want to look at too when it comes to building them is the career info, because all the Umas have different goals overall in their career, as well as doing different races. And so you can see these have, so in the beginning, she just needs to run in that first race, the junior make debut race. She just has to run in it. She doesn't have to win it or anything. Winning it's really good because it'll give her more stats and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have to win it. But then you start seeing she has to place top 5, has to place top 5, top 3, top 3, top 3, first place. And then you can actually look at the information on these races. And this is the one thing that I really hadn't done that kind of screwed me on a couple of them, is looking at the actual races themselves. So like on this one, for example, you can see it's a medium race. It's a right-handed one. So there's right and left-handed. There'll be perks that you can earn that'll give you bonuses to how well they do in, say, a right race versus a left race. So inner. And so you know what that one is. And so you can see the second one here, medium, right, inner. And then you have long, right, outer. Long, right, inner. You can see medium and long are like the most popular ones you're seeing here. And guess what? She's good at medium and long, which is really, really good. And then you go ahead and you say, okay, that is who I'm going to use. So you'll select her as your Uma. Now, if you had someone else, for example, let's take a look at another one here. What's a good one here? Okay, we can use Arua. And you can see here, she prefers dirt. So she is a dirt user. One of the few dirt Umas. So if you didn't get a If you don't have her, Taiki Shuttle, who's also good with dirt, or Guri, she's probably going to be your best option for dirt tracks if you want when it comes to building up a dirt Uma. So she's good at dirt. She prefers sprints and miles, sprints being the most preferred, and then she likes to be late or potentially at the end. So she's a very big conserve her stamina at the very end, do a massive burst to pass everybody. And man, is it fun watching her do that. She'll be all the way in last place and then just blow by everybody at the end to come in for the win. And then when you look at her career, you can take a look here at all the races she's going to do. That one's a sprint. This one's a mile. This one's a mile. Now, she does have one at the very end, which was kind of crazy. There is, apparently, like, you can get some crazy extra cutscene or something with this last one. Run in the Arimia Kinnan. This one is a long, and man, she got crushed in this one. She just has to run in it, but apparently you can get something special if she wins this one, which she was way in last place and had that. But that one doesn't matter. So you're ultimately, when it comes to training her, going to train her for these ones. What's important about whether it's a mile or whether it's a sprint or whether it's long is because there are cards that are tied to these. So if she's only decent at mile, but she's best at sprint, but all of her races, like all the races you're seeing in her career are miles, then when it comes to building her, you can select the cards that benefit mile running, because there are perks and stuff that you can earn on the cards specifically to mile. Now, if you're wanting to build her as a sprinter on dirt that does late, then you can also do the same thing where you pick the cards for that as well. You just kind of have to adjust how you go from there. But that's how you kind of pick the Uma. And then you have like other ones here that are just, they're all over the place in how they're good. So it's going to be quite different, really, depending on the Uma you pick. So we're going to just go with Gold Ship here, who likes the longer races and likes being towards the end on turf. She's a big burst unit. We'll just go ahead and do that. Then it comes to picking your legacies. Now, with this one, if you've seen my prior videos, you want to find a whale within the race, so the people at the top of the leaderboards, that has really, really good Umas for you to use, because you can borrow one legacy here under guess. And so I have a couple good ones. And actually, looks like some of my whales have made some better ones here. I did not see this one yet. So one of the whales literally just made a better one. But when you're finding those whales, the biggest thing you're wanting is on their inspiration, this blue one right here. Speed and acceleration and stamina are the most important. So those are the ones you're really wanting to get. And so overall, this one looks really good. So I would select her. And then it also kind of highlights where she's giving you advantages. So big speed, big stamina. It's going to be very good. So this is good for a mile pacer, which she's a B at miles. So we can go that. She can do good at miles. And so she could be the one that I pick here. Now you can only borrow one, as you can see here. Now I'm not actually going to borrow on this. I'm going to actually start one because I'm going to be streaming here later. And I want to actually be able to borrow over the ones I'm streaming. But I would pick her to be the borrow unit. Then the other one, you're going to use your own. And you can't use a previous trained one of the same person to be basically the parent. So you have to pick someone else. So I'll just go with her. I think these are going to be my two best for this group. Or it might just be, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the best one here. And you can see the bonuses they're all providing. But yeah, those, I don't have really, really good ones yet for parents. They're decent enough though. And then over time, as you get better Umas, you're going to have your own better training ones, which is always good here. So that's all you do here. Ultimately, the most important ones are acceleration, speed, and stamina. And then you want to pick up guts and wit. Like I like to pick those up kind of on the side, wit being the most important of these two. And you'll just kind of get guts over the course of doing the career, because when you pick one to train, it is going to, each of them have where they kind of flood into the others. And I actually forgot to mention one thing when it comes to picking up the Uma on their details. This is another thing that's kind of important, is the perks they have down here. This is a bonus to the points they get when you're training. So she's going to get 20% more stamina and 20% more strength or power, which is acceleration. And then you have the skills here. You can see what their skills that she can learn that ultimately she can use when she's in the races. Okay, so we got that. We got our parents here. The next part is picking the cards here, the support cards. And this is definitely the most difficult part in terms of figuring out what works best for your Umas. Right now, it's kind of a flux since it's the very beginning of the game, so you might not have very many options here. And you only can borrow one from a whale, which, if you followed my advice in previous ones when looking for whales, you should be able to find. Like, I have this person, Cyber Milk, who has a max dupe Super Creek. I actually have Nutrition, who is a max dupe Fine Motion. So right now we're gonna go with Cyber Milk here. And so this is a part where this is where I made my first mistakes here. You have your different bonuses that you're gonna get down here. The more you have in one stat, the easier it's going to be able to raise that stat, especially when you start maxing out their friendships in the career. You don't want to spread them out. You want to focus them. So if you remember, she's kind of a late one on really long races. So she actually wants a little bit of everything here. Super Creek's going to easily be my stamina. She's definitely going to want speed. But we need at least to get one acceleration because she's going to need that big burst at the very end. Now, I have her on here. She's a unique one that is very good for keeping the Uma happy. To overall get better stats and energy recovery and all kinds. She just makes things a little bit easier. And from what I've seen, she's going to be good on this specific this specific scenario. In future scenarios, this card's going to fall off. That's going to be the big thing. Meta's going to shift as different scenarios come in. And so different support cards are going to be better than other ones based on the scenario. Right now, this is actually a good one for this scenario. And so the other thing now is I really want to have an acceleration. So I have this one here. So this one's an SSR. This is the event one we're working on getting. This is a really good one that I got from my random that I bought. And so let's see what we have for a power one. So I have this one that's an SR with one dupe as power. I'm going to go ahead and select this one. Now, this is where it gets really complex. I'm not as concerned about this yet, but when it comes to actually really building a strong horse, which is what we're going to work on tonight while I'm streaming, we're going to really look into the cards, is you actually open up the cards and see what bonuses they're giving. And this is what ultimately makes why Super Creek and Fine Motion are good, because they're just generically good for everybody based on what's in the card. Like if you look at Super Creek here, friendship bonus plus 25%. Getting friendship up and making the support's friends quicker. You get like a super friendship training. I'll see if I can show it in video here. But huge boosts to the stats once you max them out. So getting the friendship maxed early is really good. Stamina bonus 1 increases stamina gain when training together. That's always good. You're going to get stamina there all the time. Training effectiveness increases the effectiveness of training performed together. So when you train with her, it's more effective. Initial stamina, higher initial stamina. Initial friend gauge, increases friend gauge. Race bonus 10%. Fan bonus 20%. The fan bonus is huge because this is if you're in a guild / circle or whatever they call them in this. It's not circle. Circle is the name for the Japanese version. It has a different name in this game. I think it's club. But fan bonus is going to be huge for your guild overall, getting high in the rankings because you want to maximize as many fans they get over the course of a month. And you'll get more pulls the higher rating your guild is. So your guild's probably going to want you using cards that have fan bonus if you really want to max that out. And then specialty priority increases the frequency which the character participates in their preferred training type. And so we'll see that here in a second, but you basically pick a training type. You want her to show up more times on stamina than the other ones. And so that's what that's going to do. Now, I don't think it shows it since it's already level 50, but the dupes are very important because like fan bonus and specialty priority, these ones are locked behind dupes. I believe this one is too, the third one. Like if I look at this card here, this one has all of its friendship bonus, training effectiveness, but I don't have any dupes of this. So I can't raise it to level 35 or 45. And then also, as you level it up, these other stats will go up too. So the speed bonus increases speed gain when training together. Well, I need a dupe of that to be able to raise it to level 35. Then I'll need 2 dupes of it to get initial friendship gauge up to 45. And this is why dupes are going to be so important in this game on the good cards, because there's really good stuff that can be tied behind this. Then there's the next part of the cards, and this is where it's really got to get into the details. And when I start making character-specific guides, I'm going to I'm going to show you what cards are good for that character based on that, but also the skills. And so over the course of the career, as you're training, you're going to learn skills, and then you're going to have to buy those skills with skill points that you earn. And we're going to take a look at that here. We're actually going to start this career. I'm going to show it. And so you just kind of see what skills they have here and what they can benefit you. So the big things are like this one. We'll just this is a very basic one. Slightly increase velocity on a straight mile. That's what I mentioned when it comes to the distance ones. This, if you want to make like a mile focused, like miles, what she's going to be good at, you want to get the cards that have a lot of stuff that can maybe go towards mile. Or like here, if she likes to be late, which Gold Ship does, you have this one, Late Surge. Slightly increases velocity in a straight on a straight late surger. So someone that's very late that just surges at the ending. That one's there. And that's another part which makes things like Super Creek really good when you look at their skills. Let's see. But you have like big ones on here. You have Homestretch Haste, slightly increased velocity in last spurt. Nice one there. Career events. So these are some events that she can pop into from it as well. Tons of kind of stuff. So you have to really understand the cards. But this is what's going to be needed when it comes to min-maxing your overall stats on it. Right now, since most people don't have that many SSRs, and it's just kind of putting things together. The biggest thing I have focused on that's worked for now, as we're getting in the rhythm, is just kind of getting a good circulation of the cards down here. The advice I've seen is don't even worry about guts on these, and try and focus like 3 of them. So overall, pretty good. Now she's kind of unique to the scenario, which is what we have here, and we'll actually see in scenario why this one's important. But that is everything there. So then, after you have all your cards selected, go ahead and click Start Career. It's going to give you all your details, your bonus here. And this is another thing that I kind of brought to mention here. Some of the cards that are specific to this event, you can see right here, up EP 18%. This is the event card that everybody should be slowly earning as they're playing, because it's in the actual event. You will get a max dupe of this eventually. So we have that. It's going to cost 30 TP to do the training. So let's go ahead and start. And just in time, because I just maxed out, which is why I'm actually doing it right now. So then you have a whole story with it. The story is quite extensive with this scenario. If you want to watch it, you can. Right now, I've just been skipping it. Once you start doing this as a daily, you definitely are going to want to skip it. You just kind of skip it. I have it to shorten all events to keep it on a very good pace. And then I put it to skip here, so it just moves through all the scenarios. So you start with all your stats here. You get into the race. And so this is got the race started. Okay. Now I'm not gonna go through the whole career here in this video because it would take a long time to do that. So we're just gonna look at these things and talk about them versus just going every single mechanic here. So we have training, you have rest, you have skills, recreation, infirmary. Now you can earn bad traits in the game, and I found like I had one that was Night Owl. Every single turn she was like losing energy, and I didn't realize that she really had it. But all I had to do to get rid of that trait that was making her lose energy was go to the infirmary once. It gets rid of it. She gets some energy back. Works out really well. So make sure you're getting rid of bad traits. This isn't available if you don't have any. But then you have rest. So if your energy is really low and has a high chance of failure of her training, you want to definitely take rest. Recreation. This will help her get her overall mood up, which is really good. And this is where that one card is big. Let's see. Now, I don't want to actually do it right now because I don't want to screw up this. But you can select to use Tazuna. I forget her name. That one girl from that card, Tazuna, to give you extra recreation. And I've noticed that it gives you some stats and stuff too. Extra rest. Overall, very, very good. That's one reason to pick that card. But then what you're going to do the bulk of the time is you're going to do trainings. And so this is where you go to the training. Not everything is about the number. The numbers are good. The bigger the numbers here, the better. But there's a lot of other stuff that's important, especially starting out. So you have your support cards or other support people that you'll see here in this top right corner. And so the kind of general philosophy I've been doing in the beginning is looking at who are on them. So you can see they will move around as you do trainings. And you can see this little bar below it. You want to get this maxed out because once it gets maxed out, you can start having friendship bonuses when they're on these. And it's a massive boost to them. I had one where I had 3, because I had 3 speed people on the speed one, and I got like 60 in one training. I got 60 speed and like 20 some power. So it's very important to max these people out. And then you have like these little event icons here. Try and do those as much as possible. Just more opportunities for getting different things like different traits or skills and all that. And so this one has 3. I like to try to do the ones in the beginning. I try and stick to these ones, and whichever one has the most amount of people. So like this one speed does. So we're going to select speed. Now I have it on skip, so it's going to blow through all of this really quickly on the right. And boom, she's going to do the training. You saw the L went up there. Use some energy. All these events are happening. Now there are guides out there on making these decisions and what's best in these decisions. If you're wanting to kind of speed through these, the safest option is always going to be the green one. So the top one's the safest, and then as you go down, least safe. And so right now, green's just kind of the safe go. That's what I've been doing most of the time. And you get there. The biggest ones that I've noticed had the biggest impact is when you're making decisions on whether they rest versus do some extra training. And it's really important when they're towards 50%, because once you start going below 50% on the trainings, they start having a chance of failure. And the more tired they are, the higher the chance. So if they're like right at the 50% mark, usually if it gives me an option where it has a decision to say rest versus do extra training, I do the one that's going to give them rest, because then it'll give it a little bit of energy at the end of training. And that was the first go there. And that was pretty much it. You have your turns left until you have to do your first, she does her first thing, which is just running in the junior debut. Pretty easy. She doesn't have to win that one or anything. So this is 10 turns of just getting the straight outright train her. And so you can go back in here as you can kind of see. So I have a little bit of options here. And Super Creek's a big one I want to get up. And she's on her own. She's on stamina. You can see the numbers here, 15 and 5. While I have power, 12 and 8. So it's about equal in the stats. And if you remember, she is one that's... The way I want to build her is she's going to be kind of in the back. And then she's going to jump ahead right at the end. She's going to burst at the end. So acceleration is very good at that. She's going to need the speed, though, to get up there. And she prefers... if I remember, we can go to full stats here. She also prefers longer ones, medium and long, which is what a majority of her races are, I believe. I think she has some miles in there, but I believe most of them are medium and longs. So she's also going to need a mix of stamina in there too. So she needs a decent balance. And then she's going to hang out in the back. I think the farther back she hangs out, the less stamina they're going to burn through the match, so the less important it is. So if you can get a really good high stamina, you may want to have her to be a pacer. If you have her running at the end, you can just heavily focus power and speed and just put all of it in power and speed just to conserve stamina at the end, and then just jump past all of them at the end. Just depends on the direction you kind of want to go. And then if you're wanting to do a heavy power speed one, notice that all of these trainings kind of give stats. You have the main one and then a secondary one. So if you want lots of power and speed, speed's the good one because it gives you some speed, a lot of power. Power gives you power, but also stamina. And then you have like guts, gives you guts plus some power and speed, very little. Wit gives you wit plus some speed, and then stamina, stamina plus gut. And then you have events that can give you random points to other stats in here as well. And so there's a lot to it, is what I'm kind of saying here. And you just kind of slowly work through these. And so in this one, I'm kind of in it was basically between these two for me. And so this one, I like to balance the energy so I don't go below 50% if I can. I think the best one here especially since Super Creek's on it, is to go with stamina. Because I'm going to build her as a pacer on this one. So she's going to want stamina, because I want her to be close to the front and then just boost right at the end. But the boost doesn't need to be as big, because she's going to be closer to the front. But I'm still going to need a lot of speed. Okay, so we got good there. Still above 50%. Go back in the training. In a lot of these cases, I want to make sure I get the ones that have these events. You can kind of see the numbers are a lot bigger. Like that's, if you just do the math, 7, 11, 18, 11, 6, and 5, definitely a lot more points. And it's going to help with this event here. Plus, you're going to get some build up of friendship with those two. So I'll pick Guts in this case. No chance of failure. The next one is potential. So we can see, we do it. See if we get an event to actually give her some energy back. Oh, and I got an achievement for something there. No, I did not. Now she's exhausted. This is another thing where you have to really balance the energy. Because failure can give you bad traits and can make you lose, not only do you lose the turn that she trained, but you also have to lose a turn recovering from that. And so 26, you can see here. Now, wit is generally, if you're on that verge, wit generally will give you a little bit of energy back. She gets smarter, gets a little bit of speed. That's one reason I actually like her, because she's a wit person as well. Fine motions card. Sometimes I'll use that, especially if I like have an event on it or a super or a friendship bonus on it. I'll use that one. Else, I'll just go ahead and rest, get them back up. That's a good rest. There's a lot of RNG involved in stats and stuff you get too. Now she's good to go. And you can kind of look through here. No failures because she's over 50%. So I would just, in this case, where's the most people? So it's between stamina and speed. I think in this case, I would go with speed, get me some more acceleration and power. And then as you're training these, you can also, and here's one of those decisions again. I just go, if you don't really know what to make on the decision, just go with the top one. It's usually the safest one. Oh, she got a little bit of bonus energy. That's nice. And so we have that. But also what can help you make your decisions is what's the upcoming race. This one is a medium right side one. And it's on turf. I mean, pretty much all of her stuff's going to be on turf because that's what she's good at. And it's going to be different. Like I said, it's going to be different based on the Uma, what their goals are and what races they have to do. We got that. So let's just go ahead and push through her training real quick now. And sometimes you'll see like 5 of these people on one, which is really, really good. So I think we're going to go with the same thing here. Yeah. That's going to put me like right at 50%, which is good. I should be safe to do my next training without only a 3% chance of failure. Well, that's good. And so for this one, we're definitely going to go for power, start raising those. But this is basically kind of the bulk of the career, and then you'll get to the race. So I'm just going to push all the way to the race now. Go with the safe one here. Okay, she's barely, I mean, she's below it. Yeah, 11%. It's starting to get to where I don't like it here. Now, she's only at good, not great, for her mood effect. As you can see, great increases training results by 10%. If you can get it to great, it's 20%. So let's go ahead and do a recreation, because recreation will also get her get energy back. Boom. Okay. And then we got that. Got the green one, that's safe here. She's now at great. And she even got some bonuses of stamina and all that as well. But now she shouldn't have a chance. Yeah, no chance of failure. So we not only got a little bit of energy back, also got some stats. And now we can go to training safely with no risk of failure. And here we go. I noticed one on Guts. While Guts isn't one of her main stats, there are 3 people on this one. And you can see we're getting 8 power, 7 speed, 14 Guts. It's not much worse than doing speed or power by itself. So let's just go with that. It's going to help raise all of them. Boom. Okay. Keep getting that same event. But she's burned through a lot of energy here. Now she got a little bit of energy back there. Oh. And now she has an event here in stamina. 15%. Too high risk for me. I like to play it safe. Maybe down the line when you want to, when you're really trying to get to that last extra points, you go with it. But in this case, let's just go ahead and get a rest. Let's shoot. Ooh, that was not a very good bonus there. But we did get a speed one here. That's good. And then that is it. We're up to the race point now. Now, we're only going to do this race, and that's going to be the video. I'm not going to show you the entire career. This is just... I didn't intend this one to be as long as it's going, but we got to the race point. One thing that I wasn't doing in the beginning, and there's back and forth on whether or not you want to do this or not. I think later on, when you have more built-up characters, more proficiency and potential on your Umas, you're not going to want to do this as much. But before the races, you can use your skill points to buy your skills now versus buying them at the end of the game. Now, part of the things that's happening in events is you're getting hints, and these hints will give you discounts on these skills. So if you're buying them earlier, you're missing out on those discounts that you could earn over the course of the race. And so, like in this case, I can go into the race. I can see it's turf. It's a medium race, right-handed. If I go back to the skills, moderate increase. This, I have not selected these ones because these ones, depending on her bracket, she'll do better. I don't really like the idea of that one. You can see this one slightly increases velocity on a straight for medium races. So she's going to get increased velocity if she triggers this. And this one already has a 20% discount. So I could buy this one right now. But I'm pretty sure it can get higher than 20%. And I don't think she's going to need it. The first race does not have a condition for it. If you look, it says up here, run in it. It just means she just needs to run in it. So we're not going to get any skills. Hopefully she can win. But we don't need to spend skills to try and push for a win on this one immediately because she just has to run in it. Okay, you get into the race. And there is one last couple things you can do here. So you can see she's the #1 favorite to win this one. So this is already starting out good. She's good at turf, medium, and end. But if you remember, she was also good at pacing and late. So she's A on everything across the board here. But if I change it, you can see now if you have more stamina on her, pacing may be the better one. I forget, what was her stats here? Yeah, she has decent stamina at this point in the race. So we're going to actually switch it to pace. And now she'll try and stay right behind the person in the front and then pass him at the end. And let's just watch the race. And that'll pretty much be my video. I can kind of show... and I may have missed something. So you can put in the comments anything I may have missed. Or if anyone that's also really knowledgeable wants to put any other advice that I'm missing, I will pin that in the comments for it. You can kind of see here. You can look at who she's competing against. She is the #1 favorite. You're generally the #1 favorite in the first race. It's the easiest race in the game. So unless you failed like a lot or something, you should easily beat this one. So they can come up. I like to watch the very end of the race. If you want, you can just spam click this and get to the ending, which when you start doing this as a daily, you might want to do. And so you can see she's going to go into the pace mode. So she's going to keep herself right behind the ones in the lead, but she's not going to try and stay in the, get in the lead and stay in the lead. And so you're like, holy crap, she's losing by a lot. And they're going to burn through their stamina. Like if we click this next one, it's going to go right to basically the ending of the race. And you can kind of see up here, she's already separated for the people in the end. So it's literally just the leader and then the 2 pacers right here. And they're going to push through. So she's falling back a little bit here. But it can be scary, especially if you play the ones that play in the back. But it's always fun to watch the ones in the back just shoot up to the front at the very end, if you have them built properly. But as you can see, we're getting towards the end here. So she's going to get ready to make her move to push to first place on the last straightaway. And you're having some of the late ones starting to push, they're starting to push their energy up to catch up. And then we're coming to the final stretch. So now she's passing everyone. She's now in first place. So she just overtook him and now she just has to maintain her speed and hopefully not get too tired. And she's just putting lots of separation now on the final stretch. And that's how that one plays. The ones that in the back usually will do a final push right here and just take, it's like a rocket ship. It's crazy to watch them just shoot all the way to the front on the final stretch. But that is pretty much how it works. Then you win. If you don't meet your goal, you can use those little time clock items that you get to retry. I've been kind of blowing through them, but depending on your stats and where they're potentially placing will depend on whether you want to keep going or not. You can just end the career there, and then they are saved with those stats. The farther you can push, though, the higher stats they're going to have, the higher overall grade they're going to have. And then over time, you're going to want to slowly move up here. Now, I've only gotten to star, but I'm going to guess as you get more potential and stuff, you're going to be able to do more races to help push them all the way up to legend down the line once we have better support cards. They're higher on potential and everything. But right now, if you're getting wins, I have found I'm getting in the platinum/star range, depending on how well they are meeting their goals. If you're getting all first places, you're going to be higher up on this with more fans. And then as the first time you beat a race, it'll start with a concert to unlock a song, or a specific one. And then after that, you can just click next. You'll get a bunch of points from the races here as well. And then you have your next goal. And then you're going to have however many days until that one. I have 11 turns to that next one. So we're back. Basically, we have more events that happen here. And so we're back to the training here. After the debut race, another option opens up, though. And this is races. There's none to currently compete in. But we can kind of see in one turn, these are the races that are going to show up. In 2 turns, these are the ones that are going to show up. So you might want to plan around, if you want to get more fans, you can plan around a one that's in her advantageous. It's advantageous for her. So boom, right here. In 5 turns, she's going to have this race, which she's good at, turf and medium. And so I might want to plan around doing this race. You'll get stats from it. You get more fans. Overall, pretty good there. But in general, you're just back at the training process, just like we just did before the race. And you do this all the way through all of her goals. If she meets her last goal, then she goes into basically a tournament. And you have 3 rounds of it. You have the quarterfinals, semifinals, and then a finals. You win it, you win the whole thing, and then your career's over at the end. And that's pretty much it with career. Pretty fun. It's really, really fun to watch. I've been streaming it. I'm actually going to be streaming it here as soon as this video goes live. I'm probably going to be streaming like within 30 minutes of that. But that's it for now. If you like my content, if you can like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.